Okay, so you created your organization's profile and you've gotten through that process. You've gotten the email, you've gotten approved. And I want to now talk to you about how you log in as an organization and do all of the really cool things that make WonderWe great, like creating campaigns and interacting with people and creating a page for yourself too, by the way, that really puts your best face forward, because that's really important. So I'm going to show you some of the ways to do that here. And this is actually a real life campaign that I'm personally running out here at WonderWe for Big Brothers in Kansas City. We're going to run a campaign to bring in lots of new bigs. I'm a big myself, and so it's got a special place in my heart, to bring in lots of new bigs and to bring in some new donors and just people involved in some new ways. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my account whoops, went to the wrong place. Need to click log in up here. Get started is just if you haven't done one, but we're assuming you have at this point because you have an organizational profile in there. So you just hit log in and then type in the email that you registered with. Okay, remember me. Okay. Now this is interesting because you'll see that I have 3 different profiles here, and this is what you'll see too, most likely. You'll have the profile of an individual who has created a WonderWe account, probably you, and then you'll see the organizational profiles that you're associated with. So I'm associated with the WonderWe Foundation, but I'm also an administrator of Big Brothers. Now I want to show you something here, and this is one of the more important things on WonderWe. Again, you want to put your best face forward. You want to show people the best way, or you want to show them the best pictures, that kind of thing. You'll notice how this Big Brothers picture is cut off right here. So we're going to go ahead and fix that now. So let's go ahead and get into that page and take a look at what we got going on there. Okay, so this is your organizational dashboard. So you'll notice that this page is for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Kansas City. They have that unique username up there. And we have some kind of unique features. So the dashboard looks a little different, where they can look at how their campaigns have been doing overall. And then I can click here to see the different campaigns that are being run. Engagement, what are people doing? What are they talking about? That kind of thing. And then who's following Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And so you'll see the followers here. Today, though, what I want to do is I want to get this account looking better. So let's talk about the best ways to do that. The first thing I want to do is I want to fix this picture. So I'm going to go ahead and click in here and then click Edit Settings and Profile. And that's going to allow me to change just about anything within the account. Okay, so the first thing, the organizational logo, that's what I want to change. Now, let me give you a top tip when you're looking for pictures. If it's at your organization, you probably know where to find them. If it's an organization you're volunteering with or something like that, you might not. So what I always do is I always search for the Facebook page of the organization, because they're going to have a great logo, they're going to have some great pictures and that kind of thing, and that's where I get everything from. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm on their Facebook page now, Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Kansas City. I like this picture here. This is a logo picture. It's going to fit. So I'm just simply going to right-click it, hit Save Image As. I'm going to save it to my desktop just so it's easy to find. And yeah, I'll replace that. Okay. Now let's go back. And let's change this photo to the one that I just saved. And that looks much better because it's designed to fit in there. Okay, and another thing I can do, the banner photo right now is just a bunch of clouds. And so I want to do something that reflects this organization a little bit better. So let's go ahead and get out of that. And there again, I'm going to go back to the Facebook page and see if there's anything I can grab. This picture, sure, we'll go ahead and do this. And okay, again, save image as BBBS1. And then I will run out of here. And I'll go back and we'll change the photo. Oh, well, for some reason it didn't like that one. Let's see here. Let's see if I have anything else. I'll just go ahead and for now, we'll try that one. It's just a picture of a crowd. There we go. So just put in a little different picture that looks a little more snazzy. But the idea is here is wanting to get your image looking right, looking the way you want it, but also looking in a way that will really draw people in, that will cause people to look at it and think, okay, I want to know more about that organization and that campaign they're running. Okay, so we have our username here and a little description here. So this is just the overall organization description, website, what the category is. All of these things make your organization easier to find. And the description is great for people because when they do find your organization, they can just quick read, figure out what it's about, and move forward. So that's the idea there. So I'm going to go ahead and save all of this. And now let's go ahead and look back at what Big Brothers is looking like. Well, let's see here, dashboard. That's what I want. Okay, so we got the picture fixed up a little bit, and that's pretty well covered. Now, the other thing that I want to show you, this is really the lifeblood of what WonderWe is all about for organizations, are the campaigns that you'll run. So essentially what a campaign is, usually you have a specific project at your organization that you need to fund or you need to generate interest around. And that's definitely the case of something we have going on at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Our campaign, our goal, I'm a young professional here in Kansas City, and there are currently 400 unmatched bigs in the area. And so what we're wanting to do is create a campaign that does a few things. Mainly, we want to raise awareness about the 400 unmatched bigs within the startup community in Kansas City, the young professional community in Kansas City, and get more people in my generation getting involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Whether they volunteer as a big to help a little brother out several times a month, or donate some to the organization, or become part of our little activity planning board. Those are the kinds of things that they have. But the point is we're giving them lots of different options to get involved. We just want more young professionals to get involved. That's the overall goal of our campaign. Now, right now, campaigns are always going to have a dollar amount that you're wanting to raise. And so what we're doing with that is, like I said, there are lots of different opportunities for folks to get involved. One of the things we're wanting to do is to raise some funds so that Big Brothers, when they go out and do activities like a Royals game or something like that, they can have some funds that they can reach into for that. And so that's our goal. I can say that's one thing that has been a little bit of a challenge for me as a big. There are some things I would really like to do, but when they get up into that $50 range for both me and both my little and I to go, that can be a little bit of a challenge for my budget. So if we had a little help and a little pot of money to where bigs could use for events like that, it would really help. And when we do have a lot of organizations that donate tickets and that kind of thing, but there's always those events that you want to go to that the ticket hadn't been donated. And so it'd be nice to have. So that's part of our campaign as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this campaign looking right and get it describing what it's all about. Now, another thing to note is you can run multiple campaigns. So I have one campaign in here now, but we'll actually create a second one during this video. You can run any number of campaigns that you'd like, but just be sure that they are focused on different particular issue areas and that they make sense with your organization and that you have a plan to communicate with people around each campaign. But you can definitely list a lot. So let's go ahead and edit this one. Now, I had a picture that I had picked, but I noticed it was cutting them off. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that. And here again, I'm going back to the Facebook page, the Big Brothers Big Sisters Facebook page, and I went to their Photos tab. Okay, any organizational Facebook page is going to have this. They'll load a lot of photos in there. It's a great place to get pictures. So I'm going to run down there, and let's see if I can find a picture. I really liked the Royals one because I got a lot of local pride. So let's see about this one. I think this one could work for us. So save image as BBBS3. Okay, and let's pop back in here. And I'm going to change the picture out. And here again, the point of this picture is I'm trying to put something in there that looks great and that draws people into the campaign. I want it to be something that people see and they're like, oh, I'm curious to learn more about that. So in this case, I know I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of Kansas City young professionals. The Royals are doing really well. A lot of young professionals love going to the games. And so this is something that I know will draw them in and I know will make them curious about what's going on. And so that's why I really like this picture, is it's a small way of conveying a pretty big message. Okay, and then here we've just used our description for the organization because people want to see that. Even if they just pop into the campaign, they might not have caught the organization name at first. So then the suggested donation is $10 and then up to 10. Okay, let's see. And actually what we're going to do here is we are going to describe the campaign itself. Oh. There we go. Something was wrong with my mouse. Okay. Oh, the other thing I need to mention. So you want to title. So we got this picture. I think we got that right now. Now let's go ahead and get the overall campaign described out. So the first thing you'll want to do is give it a good title. This is just like the picture. You want it to be a hook that gets people in. So I am going to go ahead and create a title for this. Help us match 400 So let me correct this. So a few things to note about this. I have a very clear call to action in there. And then I also talk about a number. What's our goal? It's a big goal, but that's our goal. That's what's going on. And I'm also very clear about what we're trying to do. So someone could read the title and they won't necessarily get all the information, but they'll get enough to make them interested and to make them see how they could make an impact with this particular cause. The other thing that we have are called we codes. Now, this is like a hashtag you would have known on Twitter. And so a we code is simply a way of rallying conversations around a particular campaign so that it makes it very easy for people to search. But then also, anytime they're having a conversation around it, they just have to put that little we code in, and it kind of ties all those conversations together because there are lots of conversations happening on WonderWe. So that's a good way of collecting them in the same space and letting people know that you're in on this conversation. And so I'm going to go ahead and change that we code to make it something a little bit easier for people to remember. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make the we code reach across. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's a theme that we're actually creating a lot of content around. And that's a key point I'd like to make here. You want to create the we code thinking in terms of how you're going to market this. So in all of our marketing materials, for example, we're going to have that we code reach across so that people can link up with it. But our marketing materials are talking about how our city's divided, how there are a lot of kids in certain communities in our cities who are just not getting the same level of access to education, to mentorship, to good role models. And that's what we want to change. We want these young professionals to reach across the divides in our community and help others. And so we're going to be writing a lot of content around that. So this we code reach across will actually be mentioned very organically in a lot of that. So it's not like we're just forcing it in there. It'll just kind of show up as part of our normal conversation and get people interested and then get more people into the conversation. And so that's an important step. You want to make sure that you put a lot of thought into that we code and a lot of thought into how you're going to be using it and how it's going to help you spread the word. So that's an important piece. Okay, and here you have the option to add a video. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And there again, in this case, Big Brothers has a YouTube page. So I just found their YouTube page and I'll just show you again how easy this is. I'm just going to go ahead and search YouTube, Big Brothers of Kansas City. And voila, that's their YouTube channel. And I happen to know that this video is pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. So you have the YouTube video up here. All you need to do is go down here and click share. And then I just need this link. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it. Okay. And then we'll move it into here. And now we have a video on our campaign page. Okay. On the description, this is where you want to really take the time. You've hooked people in with the title and the photo. They're in now. They're interested in learning more. So this is where you do want to give them a lot of information. So I'm going to just kind of write up a sample description here that we'll workshop out. So I'm going to do something like join other young professionals, peeps in Kansas City who are in need of mentors. Okay. And now I want to make sure and let people know, because this is really important, that they can get involved in lots of different ways. Donate to our campaign. Or, let's see. Okay. Now, so this is just an example that I typed out quickly, but the bottom line, the point of the description, let me walk you through some of the ideas I was having as I was typing through this. First of all, I mentioned young professionals. I've focused this on a particular group. I think that's important, A, because that's what I believe. I think it's really important that more young professionals do this, more people in my generation. But I also really believe that it's important that campaigns like this are focused. And so one of the other things we'll be doing is actually getting a lot of young professionals together for some mixers and things like that, where we talk about this campaign and we talk about how important it is for them to get involved. I'm also really involved in the startup business community here in Kansas City. And there's another avenue where there are lots of networks and lots of people that I want to get involved. But the point is, by really narrowing it down to those two groups, it kind of gives people that mission mentality. Especially in the startup community, we already kind of have a mission mentality about what we're doing in Kansas City. And so we're very goal-oriented as well, which is another reason why I talk about matching the 400 children who are in need of mentors. You'll see a lot of things here at Big Brothers. They have a lot of publication materials where they talk about there are 400 kids on the waiting list right now, meaning those kids have gone through the process. They're ready to get matched with mentors, but they just don't have the number of mentors they need. And so that's what we're trying to fix. And so having that goal, having that story that people can understand is a pretty powerful thing. Now, I should also mention that for this particular campaign, as we run it over 2-3 months, our goal is to actually bring in about 15 new Big Brothers. And so that might seem like a low number, especially compared to 400, but that's something I'd like to highlight there with you. And as I was working with recruiters at Big Brothers, we wanted to come up with something that was ambitious, but was also reasonable. And from what they knew, just in terms of the time that it takes to share the Big Brothers story, to get people involved, that kind of thing, 15 was a pretty reasonable number. And that's good, because that's 15 more people than they would have had, that they wouldn't have had without our campaign. But the reason I'm highlighting that is it's important to think through your campaign and set goals that are lofty but reachable, and that people will see and be like, okay, yes, I think I can become a part of that. You don't want people to see that and be like, oh no, that's too high. There's no way we can do that. So that's something you want to be careful of, but I still do like the message of 400 children who need mentors, and that's the problem that we're trying to fix in some way, that we're trying to make a contribution towards. So that's kind of the reason I wrote up the sentences I did up there. And then the other piece that is important for this campaign is to let people know that there are lots of different ways to get involved. So if you can't spend a few hours a few hours a month being a big, then maybe you would consider donating on a regular basis to Big Brothers Big Sisters like I have, because that helps support their work. That helps them find other people who have that time. So think about supporting it that way. Or if you have some time and you do want to get face-to-face and involved, then there are options to join quarterly committees that help plan activities. There are options to volunteer around the office. So you have lots of ways that you can get volunteering with Big Brothers Big Sisters, but our overall goal is just to get more young professionals and more startup folks volunteering and working around Big Brothers and Big Sisters. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay, and so now you'll see we fixed the campaign page. Their faces aren't cut off. It's pretty clear that they're at a Royals game, which I like because that gets people hooked in, curious. You can see both their faces. Also, with the description, you can see a short, simple description. Help us match 400 little brothers on the waiting list in Kansas City. I'll probably have to put sisters in there or something, just given the picture. But you see the description, and that's what you want to think about with your campaigns. What is going to catch people's eye very quickly, and what's going to give them enough information to where they want to learn more? That's what you want to do with these campaigns. Okay, and so real quick, because that was an existing campaign, let's just see what it looks like if you create a new campaign. Now, you'll see a lot of the same features. It just looks a little bit differently, but it's essentially the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and practice with this one. So I'll just call this new campaign. And I'll do that for the We Code new campaign. We'll just leave that photo. We're not going to put a video. Say new campaign. Okay. And then here you could tweak your suggested donation amount. You could tweak your goal amount. Let's just do 1,000 for that one. And then let's save it. And then let's go ahead and go to view my campaigns. And you'll see it show up there. We didn't put a picture. It didn't look as pretty, but you can create as many of those as you would like. Again, it's just important to bear in mind the things I talked about. You want to make sure that they are campaigns that are targeted projects for you, that have a lot of meaning, that you have a lot of people putting energy toward, and that you can take the time to get a good picture, get a good tagline, and hook people into this campaign and get them involved. The good news about WonderWe is that you have a call to action built right in. So if someone clicks into your campaign, they're going to have a donate button. Now, I don't have that right now because I'm an administrator in the campaign, but normally if you were a user, you would see a big donate now campaign button. And so you'll see that because of our logo, because of the picture we put in, our campaign now looks really nice. We have the description here that tells people exactly how they can get involved. If they click play, that should play the video. Yep. If they click play,
it's been huge.
They get a nice little
I'd
video.
say, I don't know if we were quite
a big and their family. So this is a really, really good way and a really, really great tool to get people loving what you're doing, excited about it, and then as they get to that point where they're like, okay, I'm ready to get involved, they would have a donate now button right here to click into. Or, again, if your campaign is focused on involvement, then maybe that button looks a little different, or that call to action looks a little different. But the bottom line is they're going to be on this page and be able to know how to take action on an issue right away. And that right there is what WonderWe is all about. And we have created the tools to really help you put your best foot forward on that. And we're really excited to be helping you. So let us know if you have any questions. Email us back up here. We're always happy to help. And we are, of course, you're on the ground floor of things here, and you're part of an exciting new movement, and we enjoy that, and we want to make sure that this is the best thing for you. So we're really at a point where we love chatting with folks. So feel free, let us know, shoot us an email, give us a call, and let us know what you like, if there are things we should shift around, and we'd be glad to do that. But for now, we are loving this because it's a network of people really taking action on some serious social issues. So this is Josh again from WonderWe, and take care out there.